All right, I'm going to move now to the Technology Committee. Technology report, I'm sorry. Good evening.
Good evening. All right, I'm going to start off. I'll talk about the infrastructure. This summer, we upgraded our wireless access points. We had about 80 of them to do. We plan for next summer to upgrade our wireless access point controller. Right now, we have a capacity of 128, and we're using about 126 access points. The next section is the finance funding. Sure. We have 126 access points throughout the building. At the capacity of our current access point controller is 128, so we only have 2 available spots. A lot of times we might need to put extra access points in for like online testing. For example, last year when we did park testing and stuff like that, we had to set up extra access points in the gyms. And
To what?
no, we're going. We're going to upgrade. The next size up is 256. Yes. Yeah, that should.
For a while.
Exactly.
Okay. And what's the cost?
Right now, we've looked at it's between around $15,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. For finance and funding, if you notice, we have what we spent last year, what we budgeted, and then what we've collected to date for the revenue. For the one-to-one tech fee, the part that goes to the Chromebooks, we budgeted $47,600. To this date, we've collected $41,500. And we have about 13% that's been uncollected. For expenditures for the one-to-one, a couple of the numbers you might stick out is the paid services. We had originally budgeted a little over $48,000. We spent about $51,000 over $51,000. That was due to the cost of insurance going up on the devices, about $10. Also, the computer supplies, we had budgeted $10,000, a little over $10,000, and we went a little over $11,000, and that was due to the price increase in the bags that we had ordered this year of $3. So are there any questions about the?
Well, you look like you're gonna be possibly under in the non-capital.
Yes.
So will you still come in under budget when you put those all together?
Yeah, as a whole, we should be under budget. Most of the devices and most of the stuff that for the one-to-one has been purchased already. The only additions would be for incoming transfer students or anything like that, but most of the stuff has been purchased already. Any-
Bridget?
Me
Sure.
a little
I
bit.
think Patty's
Tyler?
In terms of the next part, we're gonna look at what we've done first semester in terms of different pieces of the technology initiative and then what's coming second semester. I'm just gonna talk on the communication piece and then let our expert take over and talk about some of the really awesome things that she's doing. In terms of communication, as we did last year, we offered Parent Technology Series workshops for freshman parents so that they were able to get acclimated to what we were doing here at school and understand what we were expecting of their students and give them some information about how they can support their students at home. In the first semester, we had 3 of those workshops. We had one in August, one in October at parent-teacher conferences, and then one in November for parents to be able to come in, ask questions directly of Bridget, and get some additional information. Each time we have one of those meetings, as we've done in the past, we always put the presentation that Bridget offers at the meetings up on the website under our technology page so that if parents aren't able to be there, they can go ahead and access that information. So that's kind of the second bullet. Also, we're on a rolling basis consistently updating the website to make sure that everything that we push out to students, faculty, and parents, they're able to access after the fact when they go into our technology section of our website. We've also, so far this year, offered 4 opportunities for staff to come in after school in a roundtable format and talk to our IT department, talk to Bridget, talk to me, talk to Kristen about what's working, what questions do they still have, what kind of kinks do we need to work out. So we offer those opportunities for collaboration with the staff and just some feedback on the process. And I'll let Bridget take the rest of it.
Kylie or Bridget, what's the attendance like at the parent seminars?
Attendance at the parent seminars is really low. In fact, the last one, we didn't have any parents come to the November meeting. So after we waited for a while, we actually left a little early, left a note on the door, and we didn't hear anything. So I don't think anybody showed up. We gave them
Are you planning on
some time.
reviewing those or revisiting
Yeah,
format
we're
for those
looking-
next year?
Yeah, we're looking at what we can do to continue to communicate with our parents while making sure that we are making good use of our time when that attendance is low. So we're looking at ways that we can solicit some feedback from parents and figure out what is the best way to do that so that we can still continue to provide that information, but do it in the best way possible for our parents.
Have you thought of creating a video and having it online and they can download it and see it through video? So you just replicate what you would have done and just, that way they can
Yes,
access it on their own?
That's a great idea, absolutely. That's
Or
what
the other
we-
one too is timing when parents are gonna be here a lot, so the
Right.
conferences, the college nights, you know what I mean? So
We try
those
to
type
time
of
it
things.
to the beginning for freshmen.
The first one we did was timed with open house, and then the second one was through parent-teacher conferences. So that's a good idea to look at other opportunities throughout the year when we know that we're gonna have kind of a high parent attendance. That's great
Right, when
feedback
they're
also.
signing up for classes and everything, that could be another one
Absolutely.
We
too.
got a great TV department here that constantly asks for budget increases for high-def cameras that I'm sure they would be willing
They
Yeah.
would
to
be
do.
absolutely willing to put together a video, that's great.
Chromebook.
So that way we could do a
Video.
video to supplement the PowerPoint presentation.
Gary, I hope you heard
It's a
that.
great idea, I'm sure he's
How about
listening.
the technology roundtables, are you getting a lot of attendance for that too? or
We're
not?
not actually, and so we've kind of modified that as well. We're pulling back a little bit. Bridget actually reached out to the teaching staff to ask, in what way can we continue to support you? We're not seeing a lot of attendance at the after-school technology roundtables, so how can we continue to move forward and support you? Because we didn't want to just cancel them altogether and have staff feel like we were just leaving them adrift. One thing that we are thinking might contribute to that low attendance is Bridget is actually in an office right out here at the top of Stairwell Q, kind of the crossroads of like Main Street America, and she is really prominently displayed now. And what she has noticed is that a lot of staff members are coming in to see her. When she was in this position and still in the library, she was kind of tucked away. And so now with her sort of front and center, she's getting a lot of traffic of staff members coming by. So we like to think that maybe that attendance is low because people are taking advantage of their planning periods and opportunities to meet with Bridget, because that has certainly increased this year, her work one-on-one with staff members and with teams of staff members. But we're continuing to keep those lines of communication open with our staff, and Bridget is continuing to solicit feedback from how can we support you and what would be the best forum to do that if the current way that we're doing it is not really experiencing
So a
that high
suggestion to you on
attendance.
that one would be is, maybe we start targeting the instructional coaches and see what we can do when they have their meeting with their departments, but also maybe the PLCs on
Absolutely.
Thursdays and
Kristen
target the
and-
department.
They're working on it. Kristen and Kylie and Bridget, so.
I
Okay?
think overall, we've had a good, Bridget has really seen staff utilization of her in this position really kind of skyrocket this year.
More one-to-one this year than last
Yes.
year even. I would say I'm seeing a lot more individual teachers working with them independently, which has been great. So to continue with the report, as you can see, the student-run help desk, we are in a more visible location this year, which has been great. And then also we've had increased requests for assistance as compared to last year. Not a major surprise since we now have 2 classes who are one-to-one as opposed to just 1 last year. So professional development, still the same goal is to provide a wide range of professional development due to the different content needs of the teachers and their different skill levels. And so you can see in the report the variety of PD opportunities that have been offered. And one challenge, similar to a classroom, is to meet the needs of everybody. So in addition to doing the PD that we've done in the past, we also are trying some new exciting ventures, one of which just happened today with the help of the IT department. Definitely would not have gone down without them. We had some last minute technical difficulties. But essentially we had a virtual observation with Elk Grove High School. So a group of our teachers got a chance to virtually conference with a group of teachers at Elk Grove. Then we got to see 2 classes real time at Elk Grove, and then we got to talk to those teachers afterwards. So that was a wonderful opportunity. Other things, really focusing this year on teachers teaching teachers. There was a technology open house where we had maybe 10 teachers who opened up their classroom for the day, and anybody could stop by at any time for any amount of time and see how they were integrating technology. So I know one of the questions was, what is the attendance? Well, this is a tough question to answer because it depends on the actual PD activity. Some of the professional development that we have is embedded into the school day. So 100% of the teachers who are in the building that day are attending that opportunity. Others, we don't need a lot of people.
Could you give an example?
An example of what?
That you're doing it a day and 100% of the teachers are there.
Yeah, for sure. The administration has provided embedded time during the school day during, for example, when we might have institutes. And so we've had sessions on professional collaborations, tech tool investigations, department-specific trainings. So everybody's been available at those.
From every other month, the PLC time, one PLC time a month is devoted to technology training as well. So during that PLC time, teachers attend technology professional development.
So at
Yes.
least once a month, we get an opportunity to provide PD for our whole entire staff.
You gotta understand, just like when Kevin asked what the parents are, to say these are happening and find out nobody's coming to one, and that's not your fault. I mean, that's the parents' fault. It was available for them, but what we can't get out of this is, are people coming to it? Are they
Yes.
learning? Are we, are we, at the end of the day, our concern is, are we getting what our expectations were with the money we're spending on technology in a one-on-one? And I'm gonna tell you, it's a little hard for me personally, as a board member, to pull that out of this report. So if you can put some color onto it, it's a little helpful, at least for me.
Well, I think, like Bridget, we talked too, things like the board will like to hear is the activity where the AP English students are using Chromebooks and Google Docs to edit regular English students' papers and talking to them via online chats and giving them direct feedback while they're writing their papers. And you had students basically teaching students, and those are the kind of things the boards want to hear about.
Yeah, I can absolutely add more examples for sure. I mean, there are a lot of amazing things going on. We have that collaboration going on, and it's not just even the AP classes. That's been expanded. For example, my Honors English 10 are editing another Honors English 10 papers, and they're doing video introductions with each other. We have one teacher who has a video pen pal exchange with students in Bahrain to help them increase cultural understanding. We have students who are doing recordings on their Chromebooks, editing each other's papers or doing poetry analyses. So the Chromebooks are, what's really exciting is teachers are moving beyond just using Chromebooks for typing papers or for research. They're actually really starting to use it to increase critical thinking, collaboration, communication, that's what our goal is. That's what we're looking to do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Continue to put color on those when you guys report out, because that's what the board really wants
It's the
to
good
hear.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exciting stuff.
They don't want to hear about Mike's upgrade from 128 to 256.
I always get
256.
stuck with
As
the
long as he
bad
comes
stuff.
in on
I
budget.
always get stuck with the bad material.
So one thing that will help us continue to improve and decide our PD, just sticking with what we did this past semester, we are using the Bright Bites survey to assess technology. We did that spring of 2017 or 16, and the results from that really informed the professional development that we're doing because it focuses on how technology is enhancing our students' education and how they are progressing. So looking forward to the second semester.
Looking forward to the second semester. We are looking to continue. We send out our letters to all of the parents that will be coming into the one-to-one initiative in April. So we are going to do a similar process that we did last year to kind of kick that off and let everyone know the introductory information, what they're getting themselves into when their students come to RB and they're given those devices. We're going to continue. We've scaled back the roundtables that we were talking about with the staff, and we are going to have 2 second semester instead of the 4. So the first step we wanted to pull back. We're going to do 1 each quarter because we're just not ready to give up on those yet. We're still going to encourage people to come out to those. And like I said, we don't want to, in the event that we have a few teachers out there that want to come to that, we don't want teachers to feel like we're kind of leaving them adrift without support. The other thing we're going to do, and this has really been a big thing in our initiative, is Bridget makes herself available in the summer, and she provides workshops in the summer for anyone who is new to the one-to-one initiative. So this summer it would be teachers of juniors who maybe haven't had those Chromebooks integrated into their curriculum yet. And we offer professional development time for teachers to come in during the summer and be here with Bridget to kind of explore, for her to walk them through, teach them some different tools, show them some of the really amazing things that some of our teachers have been doing and have been working on so that they feel a little less trepidation going into the one-to-one when they walk in that door. So as we near second semester and we near the end of the year, one of the things that we communicate to teachers is what is that availability? When is Bridget going to have those opportunities for staff members to come in over the summer? And then even looking beyond that, we start to think about, at the beginning of this year, we offered a day where teachers could come in and were subbed out and were able to work with Bridget during the day at the beginning of the semester. People, again, who are new to that one-to-one initiative. The year before I got here, so the year before we went full with
2015.
spring 2015, that opportunity to be subbed out and for teachers to have an opportunity to sit with Bridget for some concentrated time within the school day and really look at what is this going to mean going into the one-to-one initiative. That was done in the spring prior to the year of implementation. This year, kind of a happy accident was that we did, instead of offering it the year before going into the one-to-one initiative, we offered it in August. And what Bridget found out in doing that was there seemed to be a lot more buy-in from staff at the end of the year, in April and in May. People are ready to go home. They're thinking about next year, but they're maybe a little burned out from the year that they've had. And so what Bridget saw in offering that professional development at the beginning of the year instead of the year prior was much more buy-in from staff members and more collaboration and just more excitement surrounding that. And they had been in their classrooms a little bit and had a chance to see, what is this device going to do to the classroom as I know it? And so now what do I do with that? So those are some of the big things that are coming in terms of, I stepped on PD a little bit, but in terms of communicating out, making everyone aware of what's coming so that teachers can plan for that and figure out how that's going to look in their classroom when they get ready to come back.
So just, I guess, to add to professional development, the other big thing that's happening during the spring semester is we've established a Schoology super user group. So Schoology is our learning management system where teachers can create virtual classrooms, and we have asked one department rep who uses Schoology a lot to join this group. They're going to get additional training from the vendor, and then the goal is that they can be the Schoology ambassadors to try out new things with Schoology, but also to help other staff members within their department. Because again, we're finding teachers teaching teachers, especially content-wise, department-wise, they really buy into having that help from someone who they know and have worked with a lot. So really exciting. We're going to have the training in February, and then we'll see where the super user group goes from there. And then finally, just the assessment of technology. We will, again, give the Bright Bites survey in spring of 2017, and I think it'll be really exciting to compare data from the end of year one of the one-to-one initiative and see how we've grown this year, especially with the targeted professional development that we're doing.
Mike, how many kids do we have working the student help desk?
That'd be more
I think
requests
it's
for Bridget.
Sure, there's 8. We have one every period, and one period has 2 kids. And Ryan Shadora mainly works with them. He's their first point of contact.
Are we recruiting new kids for next year so we can continue
That's
to
on my
grow that?
list. Oh, for next year, no, not yet. So
Okay.
we found that to try to recruit students in the spring and then to actually have them commit again in the fall did not work at all. So now what we do is the first week of school, we go in and we recruit the students and we train them the second week. Hopefully
And what are they
overnight.
handling for you, Mike? What does Ryan have them mostly handling?
Ryan is the liaison for the IT department because most of the calls are about the Chromebooks breaking.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, are the kids starting to get their hands on and in the repair section, or are they just doing tickets for you right now?
Mostly just tickets. Because of the insurance, we really can't have them crack open the Chromebooks and repair them. So
Okay.
they usually contact Ryan, and he deals with contacting the company, sending them out, getting them back in, organizing them to get redistributed back to the students and
Are the
to.
students doing anything with software, like login issues or problem-solving issues with the other students? So
Yes.
that- The idea of this is eventually to grow it
Yeah.
similar to what we saw at Leiden, where they're actually a hands-on approach to the students, helping kids fix, I mean, with the insurance model, we can't, but I mean, as far as login issues, software issues, or,
They do have the ability to do that right now, and they have been taking care of that.
okay, good.
I think one thing before we go, because you like to hear the good stuff, and I just thought about this, she won't say it herself. One thing that has been really, really positive for us this year is with Bridget being .8 instructional technology. This year, when we were doing scheduling, Kristen and the instructional coach for English and myself sat down and had a conversation about that .2 that was hanging in Bridget that had her in the library last year. This year, Bridget's teaching a class, and so she has an honors English 10 class, and she teaches that class in the forum room. So it's a nice large space with some tiered seating. I was actually just observing in her classroom the other day, and it offers an opportunity for staff to come in. She's opened up her doors, and they can come in and they can see full integration from our instructional technology specialist. And the classroom runs like clockwork and is 100% one-to-one. The day that I observed, there was actually an actual need for paper, and the students were like, what is this? What are we doing with this paper? It's only the second time. But to be able to go into her classroom and have the opportunity to see the expert in the building leading instruction is really something that is amazing for our teachers to have that opportunity, and Bridget and I just talked. I think it's invigorated her in a way from the instructional technology standpoint. She has a different view on that, a different lens on that now because she's got some skin back in the game. So it's really, really been a positive shift for us to be able to have Bridget in her role in instructional technology for the majority of what she does, but also have the opportunity to teach kids using all of the knowledge that she has and allow teachers at any time, hey, we can sub you out, come in and see this. If you're afraid, if you are a little bit nervous, you can see what full implementation looks like. And that's really been a really positive move for us this year.
And it's also led to increased collaboration because now I have a class that I can offer up for anything. So I've already done quite a few collaborations with teachers on things from video chats to peer editing to song competitions that relate back to content. So it's been really nice, instead of trying to just encourage teachers to collaborate with each other when they say they're interested but they don't know how to proceed, I can always say, I know, let's work it together. So that's been really positive too.
Any questions for the
Yeah, I have a
technology?
couple.
Okay.
Number one, do you rank the level of usage in the class, saying they cursorily allow the student to use it, they let the student use it, they actively let the student, or it's full-blown like your class? Do you rank those by
In terms of-
teachers?
We don't, not at this point, no.
Okay, and secondly, then, we've 2 years into freshmen having it. What's the number, what's the percentage of classes actively using it last year? What's the percentage this year?
I don't have an exact percentage.
Because I would have expected that to go up. I would expect the sophomore year not to be a big percent. And then next year, that sophomore percent should grow.
Right.
junior class, since they haven't had 0, it's gonna be a certain percent. I'd like to see that trending line going
Anecdotally,
through.
I think we can see that trend, but in terms of an exact percentage,
And
that's not
and the
something we
rank of
put together yet.
usage.
Yeah,
Because some would just say, yeah, you can open your Chromebook and
right.
versus actively using it within their class.
Right, that's what, so I informally have an idea about every teacher in the building, where they are, just from working with them. So I know there's not a formal rank, but I know where teachers are. And for me, what I focus on is what year are they in implementation? Because we have some teachers who are in almost a year 4 because they piloted Schoology, they piloted one-to-one, now they're in the second year of the schools initiative. So really what I used to do walkthroughs actually, and just kind of see who was using the Chromebooks, how often, et cetera. And then I realized I wanted to focus on how they were using the Chromebooks, especially the second year initiative teachers, because and I've noticed this too, even knowing a lot about instructional tech, the first year you teach with one of these, it is a whole different experience, and you're just trying to get used to having this in the classroom, and so you're trying to focus on the simplest things that you possibly
No,
can do.
understood, and that's why I'm saying, where's to monitor year 2 of the freshman class for those teachers who are in year 2 of and to monitor how more active they are using it? Or are we just throwing machines in front of them and there's no progression going on with the usage of that one-on-one, even though you're in year 2? Because sophomores is first year and they're going through a learning process, but if you have a teacher who's teaching freshman class again, second time, and we're on a one-on-one, I would expect to see some ramping up, and that's where I would hope you're gonna do some monitoring on that, so you can come to us next year and say, freshmen now are from 3-year progression, sophomores on a 2-year progression, and the teachers are more actively using it. Juniors, we had X% participation that were actively using it. We would expect it to grow next year.
Yeah, and part of
Thank you.
that Bright Bite survey will actually help with some of that. It won't help with all, which I'll mark down to track. But what it does is it filters by grade level how teachers are integrating this technology, and it looks at it through a lens called SAMR, which essentially looks at, are you just substituting this for what you used to have, all the way to redefinition, where you are having students do tasks that were previously unimaginable without the technology. And that Bright Bite survey specifically looks at that, so it'll be nice to have that comparison data for us to see that.
All right. Any other question on this one?
Mike, how do we do it? The current sophomores, they got to take their Chromebooks home last summer, right?
Yeah,
they-
as far as
most
like
of
you're talking
them
about
come back with
repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have
You know,
everyone-
we've seen an uptick in some of the breakages because the machines are a little bit older, but it hasn't been too bad. We've had enough machines to cover anything that's been sent out for repair. We can, if you'd like, I could get a report.
No, just get
Yeah.
a general feel.
Yeah,
It
there's
wasn't a
been
huge
more
problem.
repairs. The freshmen seem to be a little bit breaking them a little more this year than last year, but.
The question though was that over the summer, the
Over
kids
the
taking them
summer.
home, did you see a big increase this fall when they came back, that a lot of kids didn't take care of them over the summer?
We had in the first week of school, we probably had a little bit of an uptick of some of them that were, broken during the summertime. We did have a couple people that dropped them off during the summer that were broke.
And
Not
insurance
very.
is pretty receptive in return and getting
Yeah,
them back and.
the insurance that we have basically will cover almost anything, even if they break it, throw it or break it or anything like that. So it covers everything.
Are we locking them into their rates so that we're not seeing an increase again next year?
I'd have to investigate that. When we do buy it, it is for 4 years. So it's a one-time expense for 4 years.
You know, about loss, getting lost or stolen.
This year, we have, not that many have been, we haven't had any lost that I can think of at all. We've had a couple that were missing. All the ones that were reported stolen were just misplaced. And most of them we were able to track down. We do have a couple options available where, if we truly can't find the device, we can always do what's called bricking the device, which basically makes it, when it opens up, it does nothing. And unfortunately, that's not covered through the insurance either. But
The other one is a kind of follow-up on Gary's question, and that is, are we able to tell if there's very many students where they had pretty good success with their teachers using a Chromebook saying freshman English, but now they're going to the sophomore English and it's not, they're regressing. In other words, you know, Gary asked the growth of the teachers, but how about the growth of the students if they, you know, really had teachers who were involved freshman year and now they have teachers who aren't involved? You know, are we able to tell whether that's happening very much?
I wouldn't say that we don't have any data necessarily on that. What we're tending to see, and correct me if I'm speaking out of turn because you're kind of in the trenches a little bit more, what we're tending to see is that our sophomore teachers, even though they may be later adopters just by the nature of the rollout, what's happening at, let's say in English, for example, at the freshman level, I feel like the teachers catch wind of that and sort of see what is possible in the classroom with something like a turnitin.com, where students are able to submit papers online and teachers can grade them and provide feedback. I think what happens is by the time that technology comes to like a sophomore level, they're anxious for it. There's an urgency there. We're seeing people checking out the Chromebook carts, people that aren't in the initiative yet, who want to still be able to have taken advantage of some of the PD in the embedded all-school professional development. And they want to try that stuff out before they're even there. So I haven't gotten any feedback from students or parents with an idea of, I was really used to using this at my freshman year and now I'm in my sophomore year and it's fallen off. I don't have any data to show that, no.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Thank you very much, great report, thank you.